Released in 2000, The Whole Nine Yards capitalized on our cultural obsession with the mafia. And as a professional hitman, Jimmy the Tulip came from a long line of crooks, mobsters, and all-around bad dudes. Among those are Benjamin Bugsy Siegel, an American mobster who was the driving force behind the development of the Las Vegas Strip that we sadly did not see in The Whole Nine Yards. But we saw the gorgeous cities of Chicago and Montreal as organized crime backdrops. So I'll consider that a win. Now, Bugsy was influential with his childhood friend and fellow gangster, Meyer Lansky, who held significant influence within the Italian-American mafia and the National Crime Syndicate. Remember, we are talking about organized crime here. Described as handsome and charismatic, he became one of the first front-page celebrity gangsters. Siegel was one of the founders and leaders of Murder, Inc. and became a bootlegger during American Prohibition. And Prohibition was responsible for pretty much ushering in organized crime in America. It's almost like Prohibition lasting from 1920 until 1933 was a mistake. But anyway, during the time of Prohibition, when it was illegal to transfer, buy, make alcohol, Siegel turned to gambling. He left New York and moved to California. And his time as a mobster during this period was mainly as a hitman, like we saw with Jimmy, and muscle, as he was noted for his prowess with guns and violence. In 1941, Siegel was tried for the murder of friend and fellow mobster Harry Greenberg, who had turned informant. Siegel was acquitted less than a year later in 1942. Now, as we learned in The Whole Nine Yards, contract killing is a gender-free, if male-dominated occupation. Jill, played by Amanda Peet, was revealed to be a hit woman in waiting or a hit woman in training in the likes of none other than Jeanette van Nessen. Now, born in the Netherlands, she worked as a freelance assassin. No word on in her spare time or as her primary job, she worked in a dental practice. But Van Nessen was known by Le Group to be a fierce killer. She was hired by the Black September organization to assassinate Mossad agent Karl while he was in London to track down Ali Hassan Samala, and she killed him after taking him to her bed. And history has shown female assassins similar to the Madhari have a certain advantage when it comes to being a hit woman, as we saw with Jill in this week's episode. Now, she had previously met the Mossad agent Avner Kaufman, but had failed to pick him up. Avner made it his priority to hunt her down and kill her. He went against instructions to only kill people on a specific list, and he contacted Le Group, which offered to track her down for free so that Kaufman would not think they had sold him out. No word on if there was a finder's fee in all of this. She was finally tracked down to a houseboat where Avner and his getaway driver Steve cornered her. She made one last attempt to attract Avner, sliding down her robe, saying it would be a bleep waste of talent if they killed her. As she reached for her gun, she was shot by Avner as she hugged her cat before sitting in a chair on the patio, where she eventually bled out and was suffocated. As the saying goes, crime doesn't pay. So give the subscribe button a nice whack to the head so that you never miss any of our content. New episodes of the Real Relationships podcast premiere every Thursday on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. And new episodes of this show also premiere every Thursday on YouTube. We appreciate our listeners, our viewers, and our supporters. Also join us on TikTok and follow us on Facebook. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.